Class Aves. The characteristic feature of aves means birds are presence of feathers and most of them can fly except flightless bird ostrich. So let's learn about birds. Birds is also called as aves and their characteristic features are they have a presence of feathers and most of them can fly. Birds can fly except a flightless bird ostrich. Ostrich cannot fly but rest of the birds can fly and they have a presence of feathers. This is the most common features of birds. They possess beak. The forelimbs are modified into twigs. They possess beak means what? They have a colorful beak like in parrot they have a red color beak and their forelimbs are modified into wings. So see in birds their limbs are modified into wings only they have two pairs of limbs and forelimbs are modified into wings and the hind limbs are generally have scales and are modified for walking, swimming, clasping and tree branches. So what they have said, forelimbs means what? It's legs. Legs are modified into wings and hind limbs means what? Hind limbs means hands and hands are used for walking purpose, swimming purpose, clasping the tree branches etc. and they are modified for walking. Skin is dry without gland except the oil gland at the base of tail. So the bird skin is dry only at the base of tail there is oil gland, so skin is almost dry. Next is endoskeleton is fully ossified, bony and long bones are hollow with cavities called pneumatic bones. So endoskeleton is fully ossified made up of bones and their long bones are hollow with air cavities. Why their long bones are hollow with their air cavity? Because they have to fly. They are flying birds and to avoid more weightage they are modified into hollow air cavities and these air cavities are called pneumatic air cavities. So the hollow bones are called pneumatic bones. The digestive tract of birds has additional chamber, the crop and gizzard. So their digestive tract has additional chambers called as crop and gizzard. Heart is completely four-chambered. They are warm-blooded homeothermous. They are warm-blooded and they are homeothermous animals, that is they can able to maintain their body temperature. So what is meant by homeothermous? Means they can maintain their body temperature according to the various environmental changes. So they are called as homeothermous and warm-blooded animals. Respiration is by lungs. They have well-developed lungs in birds and their respiration is by lungs. Air sacs connected to lungs supplement respiration. Sexes are separate means they are dioecious. Fertilization is internal. The birds are oviparous and development is direct. What is meant by oviparous? They lay egg. The animals which lay egg are called as oviparous animals. Then the examples of these aves are corvus, crow, columbia, pigeon, pistaculla, parrot, strutio, ostrich. Strutio is called as ostrich and ostrich is a flightless bird. We have seen earlier that many of the birds can fly except ostrich. It was a flightless bird. They may ask question like which is a flightless bird. You are knowing about ostrich but they will confuse you by giving the name strutio. So keep in mind ostrich is also called as strutio. Next is povo, peacock, Aptenodytes penguin, and neophron vulture. So aptenodytes is also called as penguin, neophron vulture. Let's revise once. Corvus crow, Columbia pigeon, Pistaculla parrot, Strutio ostrich, Povo peacock, Aptenodytes penguin, Neophron vulture. Let's see once. The characteristic features of birds are presence of feathers, and most of they can fly except one, Strutio, also called as ostrich. It is a flightless bird. They possess beak and forelimbs is modified into wings, and hind limbs is modified for walking purpose, swimming, clasping, etc. Their skin is dry except at the base of tail there is oil gland. Endoskeleton is fully ossified, made up of bones, and long bones have hollow cavities called air cavities, and these are called as pneumatic cavities. The digestive tract of bird has gizzard and croup. Then heart is four-chambered. They are warm-blooded, homeothermous. They can maintain their body temperature according to the environmental changes. Respiration is by lungs. Air sacs are connected to lung supplement respiration. Sexes are separate, dioecious. Fertilization is internal. They are oviparous. They lay egg, and development is direct. Example: Corvus crow, Columbia pigeon, Pistaculla parrot, Strutio ostrich, Povo peacock, Aptenodytes penguin, Neophron vulture. So these are the examples of aves. See figure 4.23. Some birds are shown. Number 1, neophron. It is also called as vulture. So see how vulture looks like. Then next is B, strutio. Strutio is an ostrich. So it is a flightless bird. So see ostrich. You may not see the feathers. Feathers are very condensed. So see ostrich. It is a flightless bird. Next is Pistaculla is also called as parrot. See the beak of parrot, it is red color beak of parrot, and this aves possess beak. Then next is Povo. Povo is also called as peacock. So see last one peacock is shown. Now class Mammalia. They are found in variety of habitat: polar ice cap, desert, mountains, forest, grassland, and dark caves. So the mammalia are found in variety of habitat. Some are found in polar cap, some are desert, forest, mountain, grassland, dark caves, etc. Some of them have adapted to fly or live in water. So some of them can fly, some of them can live in water also. Most unique mammalian characteristic is the presence of milk producing gland called as mammary gland, by which the young ones are nourished. So in mammalia they have a mammary gland, means they produce milk, and by this milk young ones are nourished. So this is the most characteristic feature of mammalia, means mammary glands are present in mammalia and they produce milk, and by this milk the young ones are nourished. Next is they have two pair of limbs adapted for walking, running, climbing, burrowing, swimming or flying. Two pairs of limbs are there, means two hind limb, two forelimbs. So they are having two pairs of limbs. The skin of mammals is unique in possessing hairs. So next unique characteristic is they have hairs on their body. Mammals have hairs on their body. This is a unique characteristics. Then external ear or pinna are present for auditory purpose. They represent ear. Then different types of teeth are present in the jaw. They are called as heterodont. So different types of teeth are present in mammals, also called as heterodonts. Then heart is four-chambered. They are homeothermous. Homeothermous means they can regulate their body temperature according to the various environmental changes. Then respiration is by lungs. Well-developed lungs are present in mammals, help for respiration. Sexes are separate, means they are dioecious, and fertilization is internally, means what? Internally, ovum is released into the female body, and the sperms are also released into the female body, and fertilization is internally. They are viviparous, means they give birth to young one directly, with few exceptions, and development is direct. Direct development is there. So let's see the examples of mammalia. Oviparous, so only one exception is given here about oviparous. Oviparous means what? They lay egg, but mammalia have viviparous capacity to develop young ones. Viviparous means what? They directly give birth to young ones, and there is exception, that is Ornithorhynchus means platypus. Ornithorhynchus means platypus. It is a oviparous animal. Then examples of viviparous are Macropus kangaroo, Pteropus flying fox, Camelus camel, Macaca monkey, Rattus rat, Canis dog, Felis cat, Elephas elephant, Iccus horse, Delphinus common delphin, Balnoptera blue whale, Panthera tigris tiger, Panthera leo lion. So see, in this many examples are given. You have to learn by heart. First is oviparous one, that is Ornithorhynchus, also called as platypus. Ornithorhynchus platypus, Ornithorhynchus platypus. Next is viviparous examples, in that Macropus kangaroo, Macropus kangaroo, Macropus kangaroo. Next is Pteropus flying fox, Pteropus flying fox, Camelus camel, Camelus camel, Macaca monkey, Macaca monkey, Rattus rat, Rattus rat, Canis dog, Canis dog, Felis cat, Felis cat, Elephas elephant, Elephas elephant, Iccus hawks, Iccus hawks, Delphinus common delphin, Balnoptera blue whale, Balnoptera blue whale, Panthera tigris is a tiger, Panthera leo lion. The silent distinguishing feature of all phyla under animal kingdom is comparatively seen in table 4.2. We will learn later about this table. Let's revise this mammalia. So they are found in variety of habitats like polar ice cap, mountain, desert, forest, dark caves, grassland, etc. They are adapted to fly or live in water. These are some of adaptations in mammalia. And most unique mammalian characteristic is the presence of mammary gland, which produce milks, and young ones are nourished by milk. They have two pairs of limbs, hind limb and forelimb, two hind limb to forelimb, adapted for walking, running, burrowing, swimming, flying, climbing, etc. The skin of mammals possess a hair. This is a unique characteristics. The external ears or pinna are present for hearing purpose, and different types of teeth, heterodonts, are present in the jaw. Heart is four-chambered. They are homeothermous, means they can regulate their body temperature according to the various environmental conditions. Respiration is by lungs. Sexes are separate with internal fertilization. They are viviparous, and few exception, and development is direct. Exception is oviparous is Ornithorhynchus, called as platypus. Then viviparous, Macropus kangaroo, Pteropus flying fox, Camelus camel, Macaca monkey, Rattus rat, Canis dog, Felis cat, Elephas elephant, Iccus hawks, Delphinus common delphin, Balnoptera blue whale, Panthera tigris tiger, Panthera leo lion. So let's see the silent feature of different phyla in animal kingdom. So the phylums are given here: Porifera, Coelenterata, Ctenophora, Platyhelminthes, Aschelminthes, Annelida, Arthropoda, Mollusca, Echinodermata, Hemichordata and Chordata. These are the various phylums. In that, Second column is level of organization, then symmetry, coelom, segmentation, digestive system, circulatory system, respiratory system, and distinctive features. So let's see here. You have to learn all these phylum serially means one after another. That is, after Porifera there is Coelenterata, after Coelenterata there is Ctenophora, after Ctenophora there is Platyhelminthes. You have to learn this serially. According to that, the level of organization is given. So Porifera exhibits cellular level of organization, means sponges are having cellular level organization. Then only one phylum is having cellular level of organization. Next is Coelenterata. It possesses tissue level of organization. After that, Ctenophora. It also possesses tissue level of organization. So you have to learn by heart. In Porifera only cellular level of organization is given. Then after that, Coelenterata and Ctenophora exhibit tissue level of organization. Then after that, from Platyhelminthes to Chordata, all of these exhibit organ system level of organization. So these are the level of organization in various phylums. So after that, symmetry. So various symmetries are seen in Porifera. Porifera is not given a particular symmetry, so it is said that various symmetries. After that, Coelenterata and Ctenophora exhibit radial symmetry, and one exception in Echinodermata. In Echinodermata, larval form show bilateral symmetry and adults show radial symmetry. So this is an exception. They may ask you a symmetry of Echinodermata. So it is radial. So radial symmetry is seen only in Coelenterata, Ctenophora, and Echinodermata. Then rest of all, from Platyhelminthes to Mollusca, it is bilateral, and from Hemichordata to Chordata, it is bilateral. So only three phylums are phylum show radial symmetry, that is Coelenterata, Ctenophora, and Echinodermata. Rest of all show bilateral symmetry, and Porifera show various kind of symmetries. So next is coelom. Coelom is absent in Porifera, Coelenterata, Ctenophora, and Platyhelminthes. Starting four phylums from Porifera to Platyhelminthes, coelom is absent, and from Aschelminthes, pseudocoelomate. Aschelminthes is possess pseudocoelom, means false coelom. In the mesoderm there is scattered pouches, so it is called as pseudocoelom, and Platyhelminthes only possess pseudocoelomates. Next is from Annelida to Chordata, all are coelomate. So keep in mind, starting four phylums up to Platyhelminthes, coelom is absent, and Aschelminthes is a pseudocoelomate. After that, from Annelida to Chordata, all are coelomates. The next is segmentation. So see the segmentation from Porifera to Aschelminthes. Segmentation is absent, totally absent. From first five phylums are absent. Then from Annelida, segmentation is present. Annelida and Arthropoda only show segmentation on their body. Then rest of all up to Hemichordata it is absent, and Chordata also show segmentation. So you have to keep in mind only three phylums are showing a segmentation, that is Annelida, Arthropoda, and Chordata show segmentation on their body. Next is digestive system. Digestive system is absent in Porifera. Digestive system is absent. Then Coelenterata, Ctenophora, and Platyhelminthes, digestive system is incomplete. Digestive system incomplete in Coelenterata, Ctenophora, and Platyhelminthes. From Aschelminthes onwards up to Chordata, digestive system is complete. So you have to learn by heart from where it is complete, from where it is incomplete, which are the examples, exceptions, etc. So from Aschelminthes onwards up to Chordata, digestive system is complete, and only three phylum digestive system is incomplete, that is Coelenterata, Ctenophora, and Platyhelminthes. It is incomplete and absent in Porifera. Next is circulatory system. In Porifera it is absent. From Porifera to Annelida, circulatory system is Porifera to Aschelminthes, circulatory system is absent. From annelida onwards it is present. From annelida to chordata circulatory system is present. Before phylums, means starting phylums, circulatory system is absent. That is, Porifera, Coelentata, Ctenophora, Platyhelminthes and Aschelminthes do not exhibit circulatory system. Then respiratory system is absent in starting phylums, that is up to Annelida. From Porifera to Annelida, respiratory system is absent. From Arthropoda onwards, respiratory system is present up to Chordata. Arthropoda to Chordata possess respiratory system, and from Porifera to Annelida it is absent. Next is distinctive feature. So let's see, the Porifera possess body with pores and canals with walls. So these are the distinctive features of Porifera. Then distinctive feature of Coelenterata is nidoblast. Nidoblasts are present. Hanging structure like nidoblasts are present in Coelenterata, and Ctenophora possess complates for locomotion. This is a distinctive feature. Platyhelminthes, it has flat body and suckers are present. Then Aschelminthes, it is a worm shaped and elongated. Next is Annelida, the body is segmented like rings. Then Arthropoda, exoskeleton of cuticle jointed appendages. Yes. In Mollusca, external skeleton of shell usually present. External skeleton of shell usually present in Mollusca. Echinodermata, water-vascular system and radial symmetry is present only in Echinodermata. Then next, radial symmetry is given. This is the main feature. The Hemichordata, worm-like with proboscis, collar and trunk. So in Hemichordata we have seen they possess proboscis, collar and trunk. In Chordata, notochord, dorsal hollow nerve cord, gill slit with limbs or fins. These are the characteristic features of Chordata. So we have learned this table. Chapter 5th, Morphology of flowering plants. Wide range of structure of higher plants will never fail to fascinate us. Even though the angiosperms show such a large diversity in external structure or morphology, they are all characterized by presence of root, stem, leaves, flower and fruits. So morphology means external appearance of plants we have seen earlier in angiosperms, and all are characterized by presence of root, stem, leaves, flower and fruits. So, in chapter 2nd and 3rd, we talk about classification of plant based on morphological and other characteristics. For any successful attempt at classification and at understanding any higher plant, or for that matter any living organism, we need to know standardized technical terms and standardized definition. We also need to know about possible variations in different parts found at adaptations of plants and their environment. Example, adaptation to various habitats for protection, climbing, storage, etc. So we are going to learn various adaptations of plants for their habitats, their protection, climbing, storage, etc. If you pull out any weed, you see that all of them have root, stem and leaves. So we are very introduced to the plants, so we can say that we see various types of leaves, roots, stems, etc. They may be flowering and fruits. They may bear flower or fruits. Yes, we see many of the plant bear flower, many of the plant bears fruit, etc. Then the underground part of flowering part is the root system, while the portion above the ground it forms is a shoot system. So the most important point, the underground part of a plant, underground part of the flowering plant is root, while the portion above the ground it forms a shoot. Means below the ground it is root, above the ground it is a shoot. So it is called as shoot system, and below the ground it is a root system. So let's learn the root. Majority of dicotyledonous plant, the direct elongation of radicle leads to formation of primary root which grow inside the soil. So see, in dicotyledonous plant, direct elongation of radicle. Radicle is what? Radicle means root arises from radicle, so it is called as radicle, and leads to formation of primary root which grow inside the soil. So see, if we are bowing one seed into the soil, so it forms a primary root, and this primary root arises from radicle and it grow inside the soil. So in dicotyledonous plant there is direct elongation of radicle which leads to formation of primary root which grow inside the soil. Then it bears lateral root, and several orders are referred to as secondary, primary, secondary, tertiary, etc. So what they are saying, whenever we bow a seed into the soil, it forms a primary root from the radicle and that grow inside the soil. After that they form a secondary roots. After that they will form a tertiary roots, then so on. So the primary root and its branches constitute the taproot system. So what is meant by taproot system? The primary roots which arises from radicle and their branches are called as taproot system, as seen in mustard plant. So we have seen from starting that in dicotyledonous plant, root arises from radicle and this root is called as primary root, and this primary root have number of branches, and this primary root and branches constitute taproot system, and the example is given, that is mustard plant. So they may ask about mustard plant. Mustard plant is the example of taproot system and it is seen in dicotyledonous plant. Most important point is the sentence start with dicotyledonous plant and it is seen in mustard. So they may ask a question like taproot system is seen in mustard plant and it is a dicotyledonous. So next is, see the figure 5.2, 5.2a. 5.2a, different types of roots are shown. So see figure A, taproot is shown. See, this is a taproot and their branches. So they have shown a taproot, and we have seen earlier primary root and their branches constitute taproot system. So see, we are seeing the labels here. See the lateral roots, main root is primary root and their branches that constitute taproot system. Next is and example is mustard plant. Next we are going to see in monocotyledonous plant, primary root is short lived and is replaced by large number of root, and these root originate from base of the stem and constitute fibrous root system. So let's see, we have seen earlier in dicotyledonous plant, now we are seeing in monocotyledonous plant. In this monocotyledonous plant, the primary root is short lived and the short lived roots are replaced by large number of roots, and these roots originate from base of the stem, means base of the stem these roots are arising and they constitute fibrous root system. And example is wheat plant, and this fibrous root is seen in wheat plant. So please refer figure 5.2b. So see, fibrous root which are arising from base of the stem, and here in fibrous root there is primary root is short lived and after that many of the roots are formed, means followed by another roots, and these roots are derived from base of the stem, so it constitutes fibrous root system, and the examples of this fibrous root system is wheat plant. Next is in some plants like grasses, monstera and banyan tree. Grasses, monstera and banyan tree, roots arise from plant. Root arises from part of the plant other than radicle, are called as adventitious root. So the roots are arising from the plant other than radicle. So we have learned earlier that from radicle root arises. Now other than radicle roots are arising in some plants like monstera, banyan tree and grasses. Grasses, monstera and banyan tree. In this plant the roots are arises from other than radicle. It is called as adventitious root. So let's see figure 5.2c. So see the adventitious roots. These roots are arising from other than radicle. So see, we are seeing here the stems are shown. From that stem many of the roots are arising, so it is called as other than radicle, and these are the examples of adventitious roots. So we have seen the examples like banyan tree, monstera, grasses are the examples of adventitious root. So from starting onwards we have seen a taproot system. Primary root and its branches constitute taproot system, and the examples are mustard plant, and it is seen in monocotyledonous plant. Now second is fibrous root system is seen in monocotyledonous plant. In here primary root is short lived and it is replaced by large number of root, and these roots originate from base of the stem. It is called as fibrous root system. In short we can say that in fibrous root system the roots originate from base of the stem, and the examples are wheat plant. In taproot system the root arises from radicle, and in fibrous root the root arises from base of the stem, and in adventitious root the root arises from other than radicle, and the examples are grasses, monstera, banyan tree. These are the examples of adventitious root. Then wheat plant is the examples of fibrous root, and mustard plant is the example of taproot. So you have to learn by heart the examples and various terminologies of various systems. So taproot system, fibrous root system and adventitious root. In taproot, root arises from radicle. In fibrous root, root arises from base of the stem, and in adventitious root, root arises from other than radicle. And learn by heart the examples of various root system. In taproot the example is given as mustard plant, and in fibrous root wheat plant, and in adventitious root that is grass, monstera and banyan tree. Next is the main feature of these roots are absorption of water and minerals from the soil. They may ask the question the main function of the root are. So why the roots are underground? They absorb water and they absorb minerals from the soil and provide a proper encourage to the plant, storing reserve food material and synthesis of plant growth regulator. So this root absorb water from the soil and minerals from the soil, and they provide proper encourage to the plant parts, storing food material, and they synthesis of plant growth regulator. So see figure 5.1, flowering plant is shown. In that primary root they have shown secondary root, and both constitute root system, and means below the ground that is root system and above the ground it is shoot system. They have shown here. So see the flower, fruit, stem, leaf, bud, node, internode, all things are shown in figure 5.1. So you have to study this diagram very carefully. See in figure 5.2 various types of roots are shown. First is taproot, second is fibrous root, third is adventitious root. You have to go through examples. In taproot we have seen about mustard plant, in fibrous root wheat plant, and in adventitious root that is grass, monstera, banyan tree. These are the examples of adventitious root. Next is regions of root. Regions of root. The root is covered by apex by a thimble-like structure called root cap. So let's learn figure 5.3. Here the regions of roots are shown. So see the root cap is shown in diagram, and above the root cap there is a region of meristematic activity. Above the region of meristematic activity, region of elongation is shown, and above the region of elongation there is a region of maturation is shown, and root hairs are shown. So let's learn about the region of roots. That is, the root is covered by apex by a thimble like structure called as root cap. So root is covered by thimble like structure, it is called as root cap. It protects the tender apex of the root and makes the way through the soil. So it protects the tender apex and makes the way through the soil. A few millimeters above the root cap, the region of meristematic activity is present. So refer the diagram 5.3. Root cap is shown. It is also called as thimble like structure covered at the apex is called as root cap, and above the root cap there is a region of meristematic activity is shown. So a few millimeters above the root cap there is a region of meristematic activity shown. Here the cells of this region are very small, thin walled with dense protoplasm. So the cells are very small in the region of meristematic activity and they are thin walled with dense protoplasm. They divide repeatedly. So they may ask a question like the cells of which region divide repeatedly. The answer is region of meristematic activity. The cells are dividing repeatedly. So most important question from here. Cell divide repeatedly. The cell proximal to this region. Now proximal to this region means nearer to this region. There is a region of elongation is shown in figure 5.3. So let's refer diagram carefully. By this diagram only you will come to know how the region differs. So the cells proximal to this region undergo rapid elongation and enlargement are responsible for the growth of the root in length. So rapid elongation, we are knowing about elongation. In that elongation, rapid elongation is shown, means root length is going to be increased. So growth is seen in region of elongation. So see here they are saying about that they go rapid elongation and enlargement and are responsible for the growth of root in length. So length is increased in region of elongation, and after that the region is called as region of elongation. The cells of elongation zone gradually differentiate and mature. So in which region there is a maturation of root is seen, that is region of elongation. They may ask question directly like which region maturation is seen. So you have to write that region of elongation is in region of elongation maturation is seen. So cells of elongation zone gradually differentiate and mature. Hence this zone proximal to region of elongation is called as region of maturation. So region of maturation is proximal to the region of elongation. So region of maturation is responsible for maturation of root, and from this region some of the epidermal cells form very fine and delicate thread like structure called as root hairs. So see, root hairs are shown, and root hairs absorb water and mineral from the soil. Yes, we are introduced about this, that root hair absorb water and minerals from the soil. So let's revise. Root cap is shown, and root cap is also called as thimble like structure and it is covered from apex, so it is called as root cap. And proximal to this root cap region of meristematic activity is there. In this the cells are very small, thin walled with dense protoplasm, and cells of this region divide repeatedly. The next region is elongation, region of elongation. In this rapid elongation and enlargement is responsible for the growth of root in length. Then after that region of elongation there is a region of maturation. Here the cells of elongation zone gradually differentiate and mature in region of maturation, and in region of maturation there is very fine and delicate thread like structure appears, and these are called root hairs, and these root hairs absorb water and minerals from the soil. And so see region of root cap very carefully. Root cap, after that region of meristematic activity, region of elongation, region of maturation, and root hair. They may give you diagram and they will ask you to label this diagram. So first is root cap, after that meristematic activity, then elongation, and then maturation. And at the region of maturation, root hairs appears. So keep in mind, only root hairs appear at the region of maturation.